They predicted that Tesla would never turn a profit 5 years ago. They went on to say that it will never reach 100,000 or 200,000 deliveries annually. We are now discussing 2 million. It's a question of when, not if, for robotaxis. And I think that this accelerates, which is why the stock is showing it. Despite their problems, Tesla and Musk are now in a different position. There will obviously be commotion outside, so I look. How will he manage to keep everything in balance? You want to see him becoming more involved as a Tesla investment, particularly in that White House. He'll have a powerful place at the table and be a whisper. Indeed, it's the autonomous component, in my opinion. One could argue that the most underappreciated AI play now available on the market is fully autonomous and self-driving technology. Additionally, I believe that autonomous cybercabs could advance in the next 2 to 3 years, and it matters for some of the stock's components. You might be looking at 20–30% more revenue annually than you even see now, and that might add $1 trillion in valuation alone. It may be conservative, in my opinion, if they do carry out the vision I have, which goes beyond autonomous and artificial intelligence. From an FSD standpoint, it's more about software penetration within Tesla. The entire business model is altered, and no, I believe that Musk's wager of all time was to place his money on Trump, as he will have a big say in the tariffs on China. When it comes to any kind of back-and-forth tariff, I fully expect there to be carve-outs in relation to Tesla and Apple, particularly on the AI trade. In China, Musk has, in my opinion, been a CEO 90% of the time and a politician 10% of the time. If you look back, China just had a record quarter. Therefore, I don't think China will be a major obstacle. Overall, I believe this changes the plot significantly. When you consider that Musk is essentially a whisper and actually serves as a strategic counselor to Trump, it will present him with yet another balancing act between SpaceX, Tesla, Boring Company, and other companies. However, in my opinion, investors will take that because Musk has a strategic perspective and, in my opinion, a strategic chair in the White House, which is important for AI, autonomous, and most importantly, the largest regulatory issue they have had to deal with from an AI perspective. A lot of that is now beginning to fade, and a crucial component of the value is that, in the end, I see this as opening up $1 trillion in AI and autonomous capabilities for Tesla. There is more to Tesla's remarkable success than merely watching from the sidelines. Seeking Alpha is your one-stop shop for the most recent information on Tesla, Elon Musk, Tesla innovation, and stock price targets for bulls, and those with an eye for finding the next big thing in the stock market. Our channel may receive a commission if a customer makes a purchase after clicking on the affiliate links in the description. For the only reason that Trump's victory alters the entire landscape for Musk, Tesla, autonomous vehicles, and FSD. They will continue to have problems with states. It's not going to be a completely smooth ride. However, since Trump arrived in the White House a week ago, the stock has changed significantly. Therefore, I don't think Musk will accept a formal cabinet post. He will be referred to as an AI ambassador. He will, I believe, be quite strategic in very important areas like technology, tariffs, and artificial intelligence. However, I don't see any problems with the sale of stock from a cabinet standpoint. Furthermore, from a tech standpoint, whether you're an investor in NVIDIA, Apple, or Musk's influence over AI and tariffs regarding China, it's actually comforting to have him at the table rather than a 202, bureaucrat. Therefore, Musk has a significant seat at the table and will continue to do so in a Trump administration. I'm not merely referring to the Doge and what might eventually happen from behind. This, in my opinion, is a game changer because when you consider autonomous and artificial intelligence, AI, and the regulatory web that, in my opinion, has actually locked up some of that potential, there is $1 trillion in value in AI and autonomous alone. And I don't think that $2 trillion is absurd when we start looking over the next 12 to 18 to 24 months. It might be conservative to some degree, in my opinion. Musk played a poker move on Trump that will go down in history, and both he and Tesla will now reap the rewards. When it comes to all of the Twitter antics and concerns about, losing focus, I believe that obviously did not occur. Now that the administration has stated that you want him to be more active, there is more comfort there. In the end, when you say it's like Apple and it's unconnected, it's actually related because guess who will have a huge seat at the table when it comes to China tariffs? That's why his involvement is beneficial for Tesla and big tech. Since you will have, I firmly believe, carve-outs in relation to Tesla, Apple, and a portion of the NVIDIA supply chain, it will be Musk. In my opinion, Cook and he are the only two people who have been able to successfully walk the political tightrope in Beijing. As a result, when you look at this, I think it's going to be a golden era in terms of technology, a golden era for Tesla and for Musk, because no one knows the dynamics of China and has a good relationship with President Tsla. This is why, when Trump enters the picture, everything changes because, the FTC will be done, consensus view in terms of the street perspective. I believe it's a champagne moment because M&A is likely to accelerate dramatically. It continues to be 10 p.m. in the AI party that extends to 4 o'clock a.m. Yeah, we've clearly had a bump in the road, but I'd actually say we're starting to actually travel out, and you're starting to see growth notably not just in the US, but especially China. I mean, Tesla just had their strongest China quarter ever. But the major point here, Paul, is that the EV tax credit's one of the first things that Trump's going to do is going to rip them. The tax credit will be taken away from them. Therefore, that is bad for GM, Detroit 313, and the EV sector. However, it's optimistic for Musk and Tesla since they have unparalleled scale and breadth. In order for them to profit off a $35,000 car, no one else can. Musk's decision is a game changer since autonomous technology is about to advance, maybe 2 or 3 years, I believe. The crucial component for Tesla is the AI. That seems like $1 trillion.